Imagine finding something made thousands of years ago and realizing that even with computers, lasers, and factories, we still can't make it the same way today. Not because we forgot the recipe, but because the knowledge itself vanished with the people who made it. This is not sci fi. This is real history. And the first one literally burned empires. The Byzantine Empire had a weapon so terrifying that enemies prayed it would never be used on them. It was called Greek fire. When battles happened at sea, Byzantine ships would spray this burning liquid onto enemy boats. The fire didn't float away, it didn't go out, it burned on water. Soldiers jumped into the ocean to escape and realized the ocean itself was on fire. No one knows exactly what it was made of: oil, sulfur, lime, something else entirely. The formula was a state secret. Only a few people knew it. When the empire fell, the recipe disappeared with them. Modern scientists have tried to recreate it. Some versions burn, some float, none behave the same way. The real Greek fire is gone. Then there's a material so sharp and strong that legends were built around it: Wootz Damascus steel. These swords came from ancient India and Sri Lanka. They had flowing wave patterns across the blade, like frozen water. But it wasn't just beautiful. These blades could cut through armor. They held an edge longer than modern steel. Some accounts claim they could slice a falling silk scarf in half. The secret wasn't just the forging, it was the ore itself, the exact temperature, the cooling process, and trace elements that modern steelmaking doesn't naturally reproduce. The original method vanished around the 18th century. Today, Damascus steel exists, but it's an imitation. The real microstructure of ancient woods has never been fully recreated. We can copy the look, not the soul of the blade. Now imagine holding a glass cup. In one light, it's green. In another, it's red. Not painted, not coated. The glass itself changes color. This exists. It's called the Lycurgus cup, made by the Romans in the 4th century. The color shift happens because of microscopic particles of gold and silver embedded inside the glass. Nanotechnology before microscopes even existed. The Romans had no idea why it worked. They just knew how to do it. Today, scientists understand the physics, but reproducing it exactly with ancient methods? Nearly impossible. The Romans were doing material science while we were still figuring out fire. And then there's gold work so fine it looks fake. The Etruscans, over 2,500 years ago, made jewelry covered in tiny gold beads. Each bead is microscopic, perfectly round, perfectly placed. No visible glue, no solder marks. Even under magnification, we still don't fully understand how they bonded the beads without melting them. Modern jewelers try. They fail. We can copy the design. We can't copy the technique. Now let's talk about a machine that should not exist in the ancient world: the Antikythera Mechanism. It was pulled from a shipwreck near Greece. At first, it looked like a pile of corroded junk. Then, scientists saw gears, dozens of them, interlocking, precise. This device could predict eclipses, track planets, and model the movement of the heavens. It's basically an ancient analog computer. It was built over 2,000 years ago. Nothing like it appears again for more than 1,000 years. The level of gear precision should not have been possible with the tools of that time. Yet there it was, real, rusted, silent. We still don't know who built it or why the knowledge didn't spread. It feels like history skipped a chapter. Now travel to South America. The Inca didn't use cement, they didn't use mortar, they didn't even use the wheel. Yet they built walls from massive stone blocks, some weighing over 100 tons. Each stone cut to fit perfectly with the next, so tight that you can't slide a blade between them. Earthquakes hit these walls. Modern buildings collapse. The Inca stones shift, lock, and settle back into place. We still argue about how they cut, moved, and fitted these stones with such precision. No written language, no iron tools, no machines. And finally, a color that refuses to die: Maya blue. Ancient Mayans used this pigment in murals, pottery, and rituals. It's a bright blue made from indigo dye and clay. Simple ingredients, except it doesn't fade. Rain, sun, heat, time. Over 1,000 years later, the blue is still blue. Modern paints break down in decades. Maya blue doesn't. Scientists spent years trying to figure out why. Only recently did we understand the chemical bond that makes it almost indestructible. Recreating it the ancient way is still incredibly difficult. There's one more thing that's still holding up entire cities: Roman concrete. The Romans built harbors, bridges, and buildings using a special kind of concrete. 2,000 years later, those structures are still standing. Some of them are stronger now than when they were first built. Modern concrete cracks in a few decades. Roman concrete survives earthquakes, salt water, and time itself. The secret was volcanic ash mixed with lime and seawater. When cracks formed, chemical reactions created new minerals that sealed the damage on their own. The concrete healed itself. For centuries, no one knew why it worked. We copied Roman buildings. We studied their blueprints. Nothing matched their durability. Only recently did scientists figure out what was happening inside the concrete. Even now, mass producing it the same way is difficult, expensive, and rarely done. The Romans didn't just build for their lifetime. They built for thousands of years, and somehow they did it better than us.